I believe that there's more than enough. I believe in instead of a scarcity mentality, an abundant mentality, right? So attracting money is 70% emotional and then 30% actions. Do you realize you could take all the action in the world that we're talking about, but then you have internal, negative, worry, doubt, anxiety, fear. You're taking actions, but what happens is you're repelling success. Scary, huh? So your feelings create resistance, and the resistance of what you want. So resistant feelings: unhappiness, depressed, boredom, overwhelm, angry, worry, fear, lack, not enough, concerned. Now, have you ever been concerned? I'm concerned about this situation. I'm just, I don't know about it. I'm just concerned about it. Anxiety. How many people complain? Yeah, you liars. Complain. Try not complaining for a day. See what happens here. Try it for 21 days and see what happens to your life. Try to go complaining free. See what happens. These feelings held in a chronic pattern will attract negative people, negative situations, and negative events in your life. Have you ever felt in your life that things just don't go your way? When it starts going good, something happens bad, or a crisis happens, or something goes wrong. Have you ever felt that? Has it ever happened to you? You start getting good, but all of a sudden, bam, something happens. You're kind of waiting for the ball to drop. You ever felt that? Exactly. Because if we hold fear, worry, not enough, concerned, anxiety, lack, and that is our chronic, habitual, perpetual feeling, then it's attracting negative situations in our life. So what is the opposite? And here's the thing. Do you realize the only thing that you and I control in this life is one thing? The only thing we can control is our thoughts. Isn't that amazing? We only have one thing we actually can control. You think you have control, but you don't. The only thing you control is your thoughts. And your thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings create what you bring into your life, right? So now, attracting resistant feelings, unhappiness, it starts with a thought. It's what you think about. You think about an unhappy. Now, I had this one event that I spoke at, and I didn't really prepare for it, and I thought I was all set, and what happened was I bombed. Literally, it was the worst. It was probably it was a small event, about 30 people there. It was the worst speaking thing I have ever done on my planet. I was so embarrassed. I literally, anytime I think, or every time I would think about speaking, I would go back to that past situation and I'd relive that crap. Has anyone ever done that before? The thing you screwed up bad and you had to go back at it and you relive it over and over and over. I must have relived that stupid time over and over and over again. But it starts here. So I think about a positive thing, speaking, and then all of a sudden, boom, I go right back to this negative thing and I control the thought. Guess what? You can pivot. Now you can pivot to a positive thought, right? So, attracting feeling. Pretend you've received or you won the lottery. Pretend you won the lottery. The question becomes, what are you preparing for? If you won the lottery, what would you start preparing for? What would you buy? What would you plan for? Prepare for. You got a lottery, what would you plan for? Okay. Right? Would you be eager? Excitedly waiting? Would you be excited? Would you be joyous? Anticipation? Love and appreciation is the highest form of positive emotional vibration that'll create the most amount of positive attraction. Love and vibration. Isn't that amazing? So, gratitude. Love, appreciation, and gratitude. You hear about gratitude journals, writing into gratitude. Tony Robbins talks about a morning ritual to create gratitude. The reason why this is all done is to put yourself in an attractive, positive state emotionally, that you can feel it, that you can attract more good things in your life. Because if we don't control it, it controls us. Now remember, what we talked about in the beginning, you either listen to yourself or you talk to yourself. Successful people talk to themselves. Unsuccessful people listen to themselves. Have you ever had your mind just go for a race? And what happens is one negative thought attracts another negative thought, attracts another negative thought, attracts another negative thought, and it's a slippery slope, and it just keeps on going and going and going. Next thing you know, you're in your deathbed mentally, right? It's terrible. So attracting feelings, it's important. Now, what happens is that we have a negative feeling, we have to recognize it, and then pivot. So I still have it today. Everybody has it. It's just normal. So what happens is, as soon as you have a negative thought, a negative feeling, and you can feel it, your feeling is an indicator. If you start feeling bad inside, you're gonna go, bam. That is a siren bell going off, bam. You know what? What am I thinking about? And then it's an indicator, and you pivot. And what do you pivot to? A positive thought. You focus on what you love, your family. What you appreciate, your life, your health. What you're grateful for, everything around you. I just start focusing on what I'm grateful for, what I love, and what I appreciate, and I flood myself with that. And I'm telling you, guys, you think this might be hocus pocus? You might think it's flammy, blammy, whatever, stuff like that. Oh, you Jersey folks and New York folks and Chicago folks and all this stuff thinking, yeah, what's this guy talking about? I did too. I was like, what's this? It's a joke. You nuts. This stuff is real. Real. And you know how I know? Because my 7 years of programming said it's a joke. My 7 years of programming said it's a joke. And you know what? My behavioral congruency with all the people I started hanging out with, every one of them has a morning ritual. Every single one of them focuses on gratitude, love, and appreciation. So when I started adopting the behaviors of the ultra successful and wealthy, guess what? What I learned, my 7 years of broke programming, went away. It doesn't look so stupid anymore, right? So, Oprah Winfrey, look at her. Look at her net worth. If you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. People always look at other people and what they have. Oh, that person has more than me. Oh, and they start comparing. I'm telling you, this phone is the worst thing for the comparison culture. We go through the phone and we compare ourselves to other people, and it creates what feeling inside? Lack. Not enough. I'm not a good enough. They're better than me, right? Doesn't it? And we just flip through and we're looking through all these other people and we're comparing ourselves to everybody else. Spiritual law, a connection number one. Trust/faith in God, the universe, infinite intelligence, whatever you believe, right? Trust and faith. If you have trust and faith, then you won't feel worry, fear, concern, or anxiety. Think about it. So if you have trust and faith, if you have 100% trust and faith, why would you worry? Why would you worry? Because most people don't have 100% trust and faith. You got through it before, though, didn't you? You made it before. You got here, you got through it, haven't you? Yeah, you're going to get through it again. Faith-based decision versus fear-based decision. We talked about that. Successful people make decisions based upon logic and faith versus based upon fear. I don't know any successful person to make decisions on fear. So how do you, you're going to spend money on marketing, right? That's a faith-based decision. So faith, the size of a mustard seed, it's in the Bible, right? Why would he say faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains? So if you look at that, the Bible says faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. Why didn't he say faith the size of a mountain can move mountains? Because you realize, anyone ever seen a mustard seed? You can barely see it. You put it in the palm of your hand, it's like the tiniest little thing. You can barely see it, you put it right there, right? Because you don't need a ton of faith, because here's the thing. If you have faith, what do you have? Zero doubt. Zero doubt. You need just a little bit of faith, but you cannot have faith and doubt in the same space. You can't do it. Expectancy. This is really important. What are you preparing for? People prepare for the worst, or they don't prepare for anything. Spiritual law number 2. You reap what you sow. I'm an advocate of always doing the right thing, right? Always doing the right thing. You can never go wrong, always doing the right thing. And why? If you reap what you sow, if you screw somebody, it's going to come back to you tenfold. It's going to come back to you tenfold. I remember we had this Brandon's back there, he knows. We had this $15,000 deal, ready to close it. I mean, we're closing the next day. I got a call from another wholesaler, called up and said, hey, I got this under contract and we're looking to close this thing too, and I think the seller might be screwing us around. Some wholesalers would say, okay, man, screw you, man. We're closing tomorrow. They would say, oh, let me see what you do. I'll get back to you. Hang up the phone and just move to close the deal. And hey, you know what? I got there first. Oh, well. $15,000 deal. I was like, you know what? Get the seller on the phone. Got the seller on the phone, talked to the seller. The seller goes, oh, man, I don't know this guy. I don't know what you're talking about. Never even heard him before. I don't have a contract with him. I only have a contract with you. I'm the one selling. I said, can you hold 1 second, please? Put him on hold. I pulled in the other guy, brought him online. I said, hey, Mr. Seller, I've got Joe Blow on the phone here. Now, you telling me, Mr. Seller, you don't know Joe Blow? Because Joe Blow is saying he knows you. And Mr. Seller flipped, and he's like, oh, Joe Blow? Yeah, I have a contract with him. So I told him on the phone and said, Joe Blow, we're canceling your contract. The rightful thing to do is you need to honor your contract with this other wholesaler. I said, if there's any problem whatsoever, give us a call back. I said, otherwise, that's the right thing to do. I hung up the phone, we called title, we canceled the contract, called the other wholesaler, we're done. I said, go for it. If you have any problems, call me. That, my friends, that's why you see wholesalers come and go in this business, because they're a bunch of shady scumbags. We put properties out on our email blast, and we have people go down to our houses, knock on the door, and try to circumvent the deal. And tell the seller that, oh, we can offer you a little bit more if you cancel their contract. That is short-term thinking. Guess what? It's just going to come back to them. It's going to come back to him. Spiritual connection law number 3. Tithe 10% of every dollar that comes in your household. Right. John D. Rockefeller. $340 billion. This is his tithing schedule. He started with $9. He's arguably one of the wealthiest person that's ever lived on this planet. $9.50, $28.37, $72.72. All the way up, he roughly gave over $6 billion to charity. $6 billion. $6 billion. So let me ask you a question. I mean, and I'm talking about this. And you can believe whatever you believe, and I'm not trying to whatever. I'm just telling you what I do, right? You came here to listen to me speak. You paid me. I'm telling you what's the real thing, right? You can believe it or not, whatever. The bottom line is that people don't tithe because they don't think they have enough. And if they don't think they have enough, what is that feeling of lack? And lack will attract more lack. You get it? I know, it's cray-cray. Leave fight, inspired action. People, events, situations will appear. Take a leap of faith into action. Even action is unwarranted. It could lead to real opportunity. Go with your gut. You have an internal voice inside. And that internal voice, if you are silent, if you silence yourself, and your mind can still be going, because it does. I sit down in the morning. I'm silent. It's not that it's impossible to calm your mind completely placid. I tell you that right now. But if you just sit in silence and you're aware of your internal voice, let me ask you a question. Men, you go to the grocery store, and as you're walking out, you feel that you've got to get the toothpaste. You don't get the toothpaste. You come back to the house, and your wife goes, "Oh, did you get the toothpaste?" And you say to yourself, "Damn, I knew it. You knew inside you were supposed to get the toothpaste." If you become acute and listen to that little voice inside you, it will lead you to circumstances, events, people. Here's the thing. Once you understand this, leads will come to you. Deals will come to you. Sellers will come to you. I don't care about competition. We're in Phoenix. One of the most competitive markets in the country. We can do more deals, have more success, because there's more than enough. Leads, deals, people, events, things will just start coming to you. Go with your gut. Every time I go with my gut, it always works.